So playing No Man's Sky on an RTX 2070 Super, which might be a bit of a bizarre choice to show off the power of this card. However, this particular planet I really struggled with on my 1070, particularly because of well, at least I think because of all of the vegetation. As you can see, all these individual blades of grass being rendered, and when I used to come to this planet, I'd have to basically be here for a few minutes max, just because my old 1070 really could not cope with this particular planet. So for me, being able to come back here and being able to play this with a really good solid frame rate, my graphics card not being at 80 degrees C, and my frame rate staying at a solid 60 is amazing, and it just goes to show how demanding and taxing No Man's Sky can be, and what a difference getting a new graphics card can make. So this particular planet I spent ages trying to find. This is supposed to be like my new perfect planet to develop my base with, but as you can see, I've not really spent much time on it, just because with the PC being in my living room, the graphics card was just far too noisy and far too hot to actually spend any time here. So to me, the RTX 2070 Super has made an amazing difference. So if I just jump into my ship here, one of the other interesting problems I found with the 1070 was, if for example, not limited to this planet however, if you're just flying around at kind of high speed, you would notice that you'd get frame rate spikes, particularly if you're trying to move at high speed and trying to kind of move around. You'd notice that even though this is set to 1080, you would find that the frame rate wouldn't stay at 60. I think before the Beyond update, and potentially next, the previous version of No Man's Sky were able to run at a good 60 frames. However, I think because they've added quite a lot more to the game now, that just wasn't possible. So if you are struggling to run No Man's Sky on anything like a 1070 or 1060, and you are getting issues with frame rate, then I do recommend an upgrade. Of course, a 2070 Super is a lot to upgrade for, just to play No Man's Sky on particular planets. However, it is a good upgrade, and it did fix a lot of issues for me. So you can see that you can fly around, you can walk around, the vegetation is not a problem for this card, and if you go into space, you can see that all of the meteorites and everything else floating around, I think actually there might be asteroids, do not present a problem at all for this card. So I may not try this at 4K, just because of the issues that I found running this at 1080p, let alone 4K. And this particular planet, I wouldn't even dare to run this in VR, just because of the issues that I had previously at 1080p. It'd be interesting to see what this card is capable in VR for that particular planet. So for me, this has completely changed the game for me. Even though I have about 100 and something hours on this game, there's still lots to find, and I do recommend getting a new graphics card if you are struggling with that. So even flying around here with all the different things happening on screen, the card just stays at 60. Even with effects and particles and everything else, you'll see that nothing is able to kind of take it out of the your good solid 60 frames. In fact, actually, I had to, into the options, have to cap the frame rate to 60, because my display doesn't do any more than 60, so it's just going to be wasting the GPU performance for no reason, and obviously causing it to heat up and everything else. So if you're on the fence about getting a 2070 Super, or waiting for yours to turn up, because I think they've been stock supply issues, I had to wait about a month and a half for mine to turn up, and I originally ordered it back in July. So it is worth waiting for, and if you get the ASUS with the twin fan, which I think is one of the cheaper options, I do recommend it, because as you can see here, it stays cool, it stays quiet, and it's able to run your games at pretty much whatever resolution you can throw it at.